Hello, this is Andreas from Nordic Tarot, and I'm here with a love reading for the second half of October. And I just want to mention, as always, that before we get into the readings, that these readings are general and they won't, and really they can't resonate with everyone. So I really hope there is a message for you, but if there is not, I'm sorry. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy your reading. Hi, Scorpio, Sun, and Rising. For this reading, your underlying energy is justice. Justice is balancing out of the karmic scales, right? It is that kind of, the scales balancing. It can be a decision that you're waiting for an apology, maybe. It can be contracts, marriages. And it can just be justice. Feeling that justice has been served. That justice was meted out in some way. And of course, this doesn't necessarily always go in our favor, like justice is, or supposedly, blind. And the universe is kind of taking care of this kind of justice. And I'm not saying that you're going to get punished or anything. That's not at all what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that justice gets its way in the end. Or so, I'd like to believe anyway. And at the heart of the reading, you have the Queen of Wands. So who's this chick? The Queen of Wands, even if you are a man or someone with low masculine energy, you can still show up as the Queen of Wands in this. And of course, if this person, if it's involving someone else, they can show up as this as well. Because this is a general reading and, the cards are trying to cover so many people. So even if you are a man, like I said, or someone with low masculine energy, you can show up as a Queen of Wands. And if this is someone you're dealing with, even if they are a man or someone with a lot of masculine energy, they can also show up as the Queen of Wands. But the Queen of Wands is of course a fire energy, and Scorpio, you are water. So this Queen of Wands can be an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, for example. Or it can be someone who's exhibiting these kinds of qualities at the moment. But is this someone you're dealing with? Are you dealing with this Queen of Wands? And the Queen of Wands in herself, she's very sociable and outgoing and fun, and I kind of feel like she's kind of a party girl sometimes. She loves the spotlight, and, for example, if you have the Sun and the Star and the Queen of Wands or the King of Wands in a reading, that can show someone who, a celebrity, for example, or something like that. Because then you have the Sun being the spotlight and the Star, the rising star, and then the Queen of Wands or King of Wands is the person this is talking about. So yeah, I'd say the Queen of Wands kind of enjoys attention and the spotlight and being seen and being out there greeting people and having fun and socializing. They are this very, passionate energy, being a wand queen. But this person, the Queen of Wands, is crossed by the Eight of Swords. So if this is someone you're dealing with, then I feel like there's this being stuck in your own head. Because the Eight of Swords, this is someone being stuck in their own... Because the Eight of Swords, this is someone being stuck in their own head. This is someone who feels they don't have the information, for example, because in this picture, for example, again, this woman is blindfolded. So she doesn't know how to maneuver, or how to move, or what to think to get out of these swords. Because she doesn't have all the information, and she's stuck here in a circle of swords, which of course are thoughts. So, to surmise it all yet again, the Eight of Swords is being stuck in your own head. So is this how you're feeling about the Queen of Wands? Do you feel quite stuck, like you don't know what to think, or you just maybe can't get the Queen of Wands out of your head? That can be one meaning I see here. But I feel like there's this block here. There is this block with the Eight of Swords to do with this Queen of Wands. I do feel like this Queen of Wands is someone you're dealing with. And in the past you have the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles is an offer. It can be the stable offer of something new, something like a new relationship, for example, someone offering you that. There's been some kind of offer regarding this, like I said, perhaps a relationship. Was this to do with Queen of Wands? Was this something you offered them? Did they offer you this? And I'm kind of two ways about this. If this Page of Pentacles is something that you that you made the offer, or if someone made this offer to you. Because like I said, justice can be waiting on decisions or an apology or something coming in. And then you have, let's see, yeah, like the Two of Swords. Like, I'll go through the cards more carefully when I get to them, but the Two of Swords is also about, like, really not knowing what to think. The Four of Pentacles asks you a bunch of these things as well, like, is it worth it? Or not, is it worth it? Is it, what's of value to you? And, you know, I am getting some other messages through that there is a lot of stuff about not knowing and, you know, being worried about things. So, was this you? Did you make this offer to the Queen of Wands, and now she's crossed by this Eight of Swords? You don't really know what to think, and with the Justice card online, you're kind of wondering what to make of this, or like, am I going to get some kind of information back regarding this? Like, the Two of Swords, this is you having a difficult time making a decision, and the Two of Swords being in your present. Like, this is the kind of energy you're going through at the moment, amongst other energies, of course. And I just feel like there is this thing about not knowing or not seeing everything. Like, it definitely ties in with the Eight of Swords, like not being able to see, because the Two of Swords can be not having all the information to make a decision, or willfully avoiding making a decision because it's difficult. Like, the Two of Swords is a difficult decision to make. Now, what I find interesting, above the Two of Swords in your outcome, is the Lovers, which is also a decision. But it's a decision between your head and your heart. The Two of Swords is, I feel it's like there is some information missing, or there's something you're unsure of something, or there's something missing, you can't see things clearly. And I mean, that's doubled up with the fact that this woman in the Two of Swords card is wearing a blindfold, just like the Eight of Swords. This is someone who can't see. They don't have all the information, like I said, or there's just something here making this choice very difficult. But then, of course, what's important is, what is this choice? Is this a choice about the Queen of Wands? Is this because you can be looking for a Queen of Wands? Maybe you asked Queens of Wands. Maybe you asked a Queen of Wands out. Maybe you're in a relationship with a Queen of Wands, and you've like maybe wanted to move the relationship along, and you know you don't know what's going on really with that. Like, for example, the Page of Pentacles in the past can be this is where your relationship started, but now that you're in the relationship with this Queen of Wands, then there is so much uncertainty, not knowing, not having the information. And in the future, then you have the Four of Pentacles, and like I said earlier, the Four of Pentacles is a card that asks you what's of value to you. What do you hold dear? Is it your time? Is it your attention? Is it, you know, some people want to spend a lot of time alone in relationships, or not a lot of time, but they need some time alone once in a while at least. And you know, it can be your trust and your love. It can be a lot of things, because the Four of Pentacles, of course, is also referred to sometimes as the Miser's card. And this is someone who is very protective of what is of value to them. This is someone who has difficulty opening up. Like, is it opening up to love? Is it opening up to a relationship? Is it letting someone else in? Is it putting yourself out there? Like, that can be super difficult as well, of course. But then the kind of the lesson we get from the Four of Pentacles is that, yes, you have these Four of Pentacles and they are of great value to you and you don't want to lose them. But as long as you hold on to them and you don't invest them, or you don't try to risk them to make more, you will never have more than you have currently either. They won't grow. You won't have more than you have. You know, some people are comfortable with that, but you know, do you want to attempt to grow as a person or widen your horizons or something like that, then kind of loosening your grip on these pentacles is also important. But of course, we can end up in the Four of Pentacles kind of state because we were hurt in some way. Like, maybe we did open up and it backfired and the result wasn't very desirable. And that's why we like kind of clam up with the Four of Pentacles energy. And I do feel like this Four of Pentacles energy has to do with something in the past. Let's get that feeling. Like, that's one of the messages I'm getting through, right? Like, it feels like it has something to do with the Page of Pentacles here. Like, it was this offer. And then if that's true, then it just kind of is a feedback loop here. where the Page of Pentacles happened, and then the Two of Swords happening, and then the Four of Pentacles is happening because of what happened in the past. So I feel like this Two of Swords energy is, I don't know, it just looks really anxious and like not knowing and not having the information and just things being really unclear for you. But then in your crowning energy, you have the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is, this card is planting your seeds. Beginning something new. But you plant your seeds and you're now in the situation of tending to these seeds. That the work is not done. You're still working. And there are some sides to the Seven of Pentacles that can be very frustrating. Like, it's sustained work. It can require some patience because your bushes are still growing. You're still putting work into them. So I do feel like there's a lot of focus required here with the Seven of Pentacles. Like, there is work to be done and there is work and effort to be put into it. And maybe it feels like quite a balancing act sometimes. And I understand, trust me, I understand the Seven of Pentacles energy can be so frustrating sometimes. Because it can also be this, like, frustration of like, oh, when am I going to see results? When am I going to, like, be able to move on? When am I going to get to the Eight of Pentacles? Which, to me at least, is a much more relaxed kind of energy. Because then you move from this sustained, like, kind of patient working energy into, I don't mind doing this because I know my path and I know what I'm going to get out of it and I don't mind doing this. Like, that's the Eight of Pentacles compared to the Seven of Pentacles. And like I said, I feel like there's a lot of effort and concentration goes into this Seven of Pentacles energy because it is about nurturing these seeds that you planted in the past. And then, again, is one of these seeds, is that the Page of Pentacles? Is the Page of Pentacles holding one of those pentacle seeds that we see in the Seven of Pentacles? But then in your feelings, I'm kind of, like, it's the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is about building a stable foundation. And, like, what is this in regards to this relationship, potential relationship that's going on with the Queen of Wands here? Because you're planning for the future. You're trying to make something out of something. You're trying to, and this can be about planning in a group, which is why I think it then might be happening with this Queen of Wands. Because, like I said, the Three of Pentacles is often done in a group. It's a group of people planning for the future and creating this stable foundation to build that future on top of. And I kind of feel like this is what you're doing because, I don't know, is it that this kind of thing where like, okay, I don't have what I want or I don't have what I need, so I'm going to go and get it. I've decided that what I have or whatever I'm doing is not enough. I want to keep moving, and then that is why the Three of Pentacles is happening in your feelings. And I very much feels like, I very much feel like it ties into the Seven of Pentacles as well. Like, you are putting in this work, and it might be very frustrating and hard work, but you're doing it, and in your feelings, it's building for the future. And I mean, in your external, then, like, remember, your outside influence or your external influence is something that is influencing you, but is not necessarily seen yet. You might not notice the influence yet or something like that. But the outside influence is the Ten of Pentacles. That's the legacy card. This is what I feel like you're working toward. And I feel like it has so much potential and it's so, like, such a bright future. And, you know, the Ten of Pentacles is what is the legacy you want to leave behind. Of course, that can be many things. It can be leaving behind your thoughts in a book, for example, or leaving behind your emotions. Maybe you write music. It can be leaving, you know, a legacy in the form of children, or it can be more about material things like building up a company and leaving that as a legacy. But, you know, the Ten of Pentacles is such a stable end to that cycle. And I like the Ten of Pentacles is stability, security, and support, right? So again, I feel like this is something you will be doing with someone else then. And this is something we want with the Ten of Pentacles. But like I said, I feel like it holds such an amazing potential here. With the messages I'm getting in, that the future is quite bright. But of course, you have to work your way there first. Now, your hopes and fears, I feel like this is why you're in the Two of Swords energy currently, and the Eight of Swords as well. Because the Page of Swords, this is the information gatherer of the pages. Like, the Page of Wands is exploration, and the Page of Pentacles is this offer of a stable beginning, right? But the Page of Swords looks for answers, looks for information, tries to learn things. Sometimes be a bit devious, can be like spying and things, but I don't really see any cards enforcing that kind of energy, so I think it's more about seeking the information and the brutal honesty that the Page of Swords can come deliver. Is this your brutal honesty? Is this someone else? Are you worried about this? I mean, this is in your hopes and fears position, so this is something you've got on your mind. Are you worried about this? Are you afraid of this? Because I feel like there's always this thing in the back of your mind that you're going to lose something, or there's going to be some loss or grief. And I feel like that is what the Page of Swords is bringing in here in this reading, like that you're worried about receiving some piece of information or finding something out, or like, and that's why there's this blockage with the Queen of Wands crossed by the Eight of Swords, like not having the information and not seeing and being stuck in your own head. And then in the present energy, the Two of Swords, not being able to make a decision or not wanting to make a decision, not having all the information. But I do feel like with the Page of Swords, like whatever truth or honesty or information he brings in will be like for your greater good. I feel like in the end, it will just all help you grow. And then, like I mentioned earlier, in your outcome, you do have the Lovers, which again, like the Two of Swords, is a decision. And Justice, like I said, is also about a decision. But the Lovers is a decision between head and heart. This is also a soulmate card. This is just love. It's love for someone else. It's love for what you do. It's loving friends and family or your pet or yourself. Like, it can just be talking about love in general, but because this is a love reading, I do also feel like it's very much leaning on the soulmate, loving a partner aspect of it, of course. But I feel like there are some issues that need to be dealt with to properly handle the Lovers kind of energy. Like, is it a choice between head or heart? That's what the Lovers asks you as well. Like, it is a head or heart decision. And like, why wouldn't you go with what you love, for example? But like I said, yes, I feel like the Lovers, it might have to do with old issues or something similar, like, because there are some really tough energies for you to deal with here, and like, it looks super tough. Like I said, with the Eight of Swords, with the Two of Swords, with the Four of Pentacles of the future, it looks very tough. And I feel like there's so much information, or like there's no clarity, and it looks quite anxious to me as well. And my heart is just going out to you so hard, Scorpio, because this looks really tough. And you do have some like tough decisions to make. But at the same time, you do, like, in your outside influence, you do have the Ten of Pentacles. You have this amazing like legacy to build toward, and this really stable end to something. But it seems like you have some stuff to deal with right now, and I feel like they really need to be taken care of before you can like properly move on, before you can properly build something. Like, what is this Two of Swords about? What is this difficult decision? Is it that you just don't have the information? But then, okay, you don't have the information, but in your hopes and fears, you have this potential with the Page of Swords of getting information, but it just feels like you're worried about it. And I mean, and your Oracle card, you have 52, Hasta la Vista, baby. Do you remember that song Queen Elsa sings in the Disney movie Frozen when she unleashes her magic? Well, if you didn't catch this animated flick, it's time to let it go. Walk away, and just like you don't look back at the trash can you leave at the curb, don't give it a second glance. It's time for new beginnings. Out with the old and in with the new. Like, I almost feel like that's a pumped up death card. Like, let the old stuff that's not working, let that go, so that you have the potential for these new bright things to come into your life. And I feel like that very much speaks to the Lovers as well in the future. Or in your outcome, I'm sorry. And the other Oracle card you have from... And yes, Hasta la Vista is from the Oracle of E. And then from the Wisdom of the Oracle, you got number 18, Serendipity. And the essential meanings are opportunity allied with readiness, the awareness of synchronicity, luck and good fortune appearing as signs and symbols, a magical alignment of events. So you do have all this, like, good, really good energy coming in, like, it's just around you in the universe. And I feel like the universe is kind of sending you little messages and stuff, but I also feel like there is this thing where to let all that stuff in, to be able to see it and appreciate it, then all this, like, how are you going to see these synchronicities and signs and all that stuff when the Eight of Swords and Two of Swords are there? Like these two blindfolded characters that don't know or maybe don't want to know. And don't misunderstand me, I understand if it's difficult. It looks really tough. And like I said, my heart really goes out to you because it looks so difficult. But then you have these amazing potentials as well. And I feel like there are these things that you have to deal with because in the future you have the potential of the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles that's not someone who takes... And the Four of Pentacles, that's not someone who can receive the potential of the Serendipity card very well if they, don't want to reach out and grab that luck and good, mojo from the universe. So it looks like you have some really tough things to deal with, but I think it will definitely be for your greater good if you do. Like, who is this Queen of Wands and why are you so stuck about her? Why is there such a block with this woman or man? What is this difficult decision? What is this truth that you're maybe worried about with the Page of Swords? And, grabbing that potential lover's energy in your outcome as well. So I wish you the best of luck, Scorpio. I really do. So that was your reading for mid-October. I really hope that was a message for you. And, like I said, these readings are general and it's kind of impossible for it to resonate with everyone. But if it did resonate or if it didn't resonate and you want some more answers, you have some questions about other aspects or areas of your life, maybe there's some situation you're in, then you can contact me through my email, which you'll find below in the description box. I'll give you some information about prices and the kind of readings I do. And as always, if you are wondering what kind of decks I've used or anything like that, you'll find most of the information down below in the information box as well. I know I keep changing things up and doing things differently, but I'm trying to find my way of doing it and kind of what suits me, and as well as input from my viewers, of course. But until next time, I hope everything goes well with the messages that were there for you, and if nothing else, I'll see you next time.